everybody, it's MrLEDiecast. We're back, and this time I'm going to show off a few of the customs that I've been working on. We've had about 7 or 8 finished in the last few weeks. Had some time, and I got a dairy delivery, a AAR Cuda, and we're going to talk about that one. And then this one we'll start with. So let's back these up here. There's some stories with each of these. Let's talk about this one real quick. That one is a wheel swap. I put on this gun, kind of screwed it in so it will rotate around, and I glued those bumpers on. The bumpers are from some Jada, like post-apocalyptic type cars. That's where this gun came from too. We did a video on them. I don't remember the series. This is Peter Kong's favorite car when he was a kid. And if you remember, about 150 episodes ago, one of our fans, Peter Kong, sent us his childhood cars. And we did an episode on it, and they showed up in a few episodes. Some really neat cars that he had. He had a case of, I don't know, it was probably like 120 cars. Maybe I'm off a little bit, but it was quite a few cars. There was some Tomicas in there and all sorts of them. I asked him which one was his favorite, and this was it. And this is is it a Hot Wheels or a Matchbox? This is a Matchbox Hummer, and he really liked this one, and he requested not to touch the cross. So what I did, I just patched it up a little bit. I put some bumpers on it. I put on some new wheels. I put on those 3-spoke, those kind of razor spokes. I thought that made it look a little bit meaner, and gave it a much heftier gun than it used to. This one is going to be sent back to Peter, and with the other 2 customs that we have done, and I think what we'll do maybe in the next episode is a bumper right at the beginning. We'll show you all 3 of them, put them in a box, and send them off to Peter. I told him I would do that. Told him it was going to take a while. We're finally done. So this is the last one. So we're going to drive him off. Next up, let's talk about this dairy delivery. Not sure this one's done, but it's done enough that it's going upstairs to sit on the shelf for the time being. I think it could really benefit from something right back here and right back in here. But I like it too much to just throw something on it. So I think what we're going to do is have it sit on the shelf for a while, and I'll stare at it and maybe come up with a plan over time, or not. We'll see. Really like the finish on this one. You can see that light just really goes straight across the smooth parts. Just polish the hell out of these things. I pretty much at night now just sit, watch TV, and polish Hot Wheels cars. So I use my own flame masks. Those are the Stingray flames, I think, and they're all the same mask set, but what I did was kind of chop off the bottom here, put it up here, and then I taped in between to kind of make the color connect, so it could go around the cab and include the whole cab in the blue. The gold down here and the gold back here, it's not going to show up back here, is a different gold. I don't know if that'll show up if I move it around, but I wanted a couple tones of gold on it. Detailed the front, did a little bit of detail anyways. I think these wheels came with this dairy delivery. I really don't remember what the original dairy delivery was this came with. Nothing really on the back. The inside, black. Yeah. It's a 2-tone blue, by the way. It's that blue there, that was left over from those Dolphin power panels that I did about 1.5 years ago. I had a bunch of blue left. I originally painted this whole car that lighter Dolphin blue, like NFL Dolphin team blue, and then I went over the top with a translucent dark blue, and that's what kind of got that ocean blue color there, that Caribbean blue across the top of it. We got a lot of blue cars coming up here. So yeah, pretty happy with that one. We may see this one again. I think something right back here would be really cool, but we'll see. That's kind of how my customs go. I never really know when they're done. This one I'm going to zoom in on. I really like this one. Now this one's based off a real car. I'm going to go down here. Street level. I really like how the stance on this one turned out. So this one, AAR Cuda, one of my favorite castings. I've used this one quite a bit before. Similar blue, and it was based off a photograph that I took of a real car, but I honestly don't remember where that came from. I think it was a car show, or maybe it was parked on the street at a car show or something. It was kind of a blurry photograph I had of this, thinking someday I wanted to build it in a plastic model set. Never got around to that, but this one with the silver and the blue. So instead of the usual kind of Cuda, like that, what do they call it? Not a snake pattern. It's that striped swish line. It has a name. I forgot the name of it. But instead of doing that, I just did it blue on top and silver on the sides. Originally, it was all blue. Yeah, that's what it was. It was all blue, and then I taped off the top and painted the silver in. And I did that the same way that I did the dairy that I think was in the last video or in the next video, however these come out, where I painted white over it first so the silver would really stand out. If you paint silver over the blue with the translucent paints or the wicked color paints, then you would end up with like a bluish silver, and I just wanted silver. So there's a white base underneath that silver. Use the Plymouth decals that I got from my good friend Carlos. These are awesome because they're kind of like a metallic. I love those. Originally that Plymouth was actually sized to go back here, and I put it on the door panel instead. I liked it better there. We've got our MrLEDiecast logos there, and I hope the light's picking up that really cool silver decal. And we've got the kind of generic rims on it. On the bottom, nothing special. Those wheels fit in pretty good. I didn't have to drill anything out. I did, and this is pretty common, I forget to mention it a lot, but I had to drill out the whole inside of the back quarter panel to get those wheels to roll. There we go. Prove they roll. There you go. This wheel does roll. It's just, there you go. There we go. It does roll. It's a little stuck right now. But I drilled out that whole quarter panel quite a bit. And with these Cudas, for some reason that casting really has a lot of metal back in the quarter panel, especially on the top part. So you really have to Dremel it out a lot. And anytime you're going to Dremel out the inside of your car to get the wheels to fit, which for me is practically every time I do a custom, make sure you fit the wheels in and get everything set up before you paint it. Otherwise, you're going to trash the paint. Sooner or later, that Dremel is going to skip and it's going to just chew up your paint. So if you fit the wheels in, you won't ever have to be Dremeling it out. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you Dremel something and you heat up the casting, the paint heats up and it will kind of melt around either your gloves or your fingerprints. It heats up the paint too, because the metal heats up as the friction from Dremeling out the inside of it. One other thing, one of the reasons I really like these Cudas, see how much I dropped that back piece there from right there down. It's a good, probably 1/4 of an inch that I dropped that, and that's because I wanted the stance of this. Let's see if I can get my camera down a little bit more. I wanted the stance of that to be really as low as I could get. And that is as low as I could get that in there without Dremeling up through the top. I really had to remove a lot of metal from the back to get it to sit that low. But it's one of the reasons I really like this AAR Cuda casting for customs, is because it's just so easy to kind of get anything that you want. Okay, one last one we've got here. And that is this guy. Now, if you're looking at that, there's probably a few of you that are going to have issue right off the bat. I'll give you a second to look at it. So a few things. It's based off a real car. It's based off a real Superbird, which Superbird, if you remember my 5 favorite cars, the Superbird was one of my favorite castings of all time. It's one of my favorite cars of all time. They only made it in 1970. There aren't a lot of them around. I've just been infatuated by that car. It's just a great, big, obnoxious car to start with. This is not a Superbird, but I didn't catch that until like I was done. I was literally taking pictures of this for Instagram, and then it dawned on me, that's not a Superbird, that's a Charger. It's got Superbird stuff on it, and it felt really stupid. And so then I thought, I'm not going to show anybody because I'm embarrassed. And then I thought, well, screw it. You guys aren't perfect either, so I'll just show it. It turned out exactly how I wanted. It's just not the right car. And I don't have a Superbird here to show you. I don't think I do. No, I don't think I have one right now. But this was a Charger, and if you remember, the Charger is really lifted in the back. This is the same car that's in the Fast and Furious set. It's really lifted, and I don't like the stance on that Charger. I just don't like that it's so high. I really wanted it lower, and so I went to great lengths to just carve this thing up, fit those tires in. I had to chew up the whole back end, the whole front end to get this thing to sit down. I must have spent 2-3 hours on this, getting that to fit at the right stance. Had I used a real Superbird casting, it would have been fine right off the bat. I felt kind of stupid. So I've got Plymouth on a Dodge Charger. I've got the Superbird logo on the back. It looked really cool, except it's on a Dodge Charger. I've even got Plymouth on the back with my cool little shiny Plymouth logo. It's on a Charger. So, you guys that know your cars, the Charger and the Superbird for that year really looked close. They're very similar cars. I thought I was working on a Superbird the whole time. It just kind of goes to show when I get to working on these things, I kind of lose sight of the big picture. I'm very much a small picture kind of guy when I'm working on this stuff. I stared at this thing for hours, and I didn't dawn on me until I was taking pictures and it was done. Anyways, it is based off a real car. I don't have much information. It's a real Superbird. I just found it on Google, and I wasn't able to find it again. But it's got these same logos for the most part. I don't think it had the Plymouth on the hood. It was just blue, and it didn't have the Superbird logo on the back like that. It was up here. I have really tiny ones, but they weren't looking very good there. I tried one, and I just thought it was getting overpowered and didn't look right. So I used the bigger one and just put it on the back. We've also got the LEDiecast on the back quarter panels. Shoulders, I guess you'd call them. Black inside, gloss black on the side. It's all polished. It's super cool, but it's the wrong car. That's the first time I've done that. Oh well. I refuse to be too embarrassed by it. So, you guys can make fun of it. I figured I'd show it because I like it. I can't really do much else with it, I guess. I don't think it's going to be winning too many Superbird contests or Charger contests for that matter. So that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.